Hi, my name is Ryan Kimura. I'm the lead installer here at SportsArt America. In this video, I'll be going over how to troubleshoot error 1 on a SportsArt Treadmill.
Here we have an error 1 on the display, and although there is button response, we can't get past the error 1. Recycling the power to the treadmill should be your first step, because this acts like a reset for the electronics. The best way to do this though is to turn it off, unplug from the wall for a few seconds, plug back in, and then turn it on. To remove the hood cover, turn the power switch off, and then you'll actually have to remove the power cord because it gets in the way. You want to remove these 4 screws and then set those aside. Once the hood cover is off, plug the power cord back in, flip the power switch back on, and then we're ready. Just be careful what you're putting in your hands because we've got live wires near the drive board. The T615 here utilizes an optical speed sensor mounted to the drive motor. An infrared emitting diode uses this optical wheel to send the same signal to the drive board. We can see the LED on the drive board flashing, showing it's picking up the encoder feedback. You can try reseating the wires on the encoder and the drive board. As a side note, if you spin it too fast, the LED will become solid, so you gotta spin the wheel slowly. The display can show an error 1 during use if the encoder senses that the speed is slowing down with a load. One of the most common causes for slowing down is friction between the walking belt and deck. We'll go ahead and stop the belt so we can feel the surface of the walking deck by hand. Stick your hand underneath the walk belt and feel the surface of the deck. It's okay to have some light grooves, but it should feel relatively smooth to the touch. The highest wear will be at the middle of the deck towards the front, right where the user would walk. It should have a greasy feeling to the touch, but it shouldn't be wet. To get the best coverage when applying lube underneath the walking belt, it's best to run a bead of silicone from one side of the deck to the other, instead of just squirt it in or wherever. Sometimes it's tough to get your hand in the middle, but like I said, most of the wear is in the center of the walking surface. When applying silicone, you just want to be careful not to apply too close to the edge of the walk belt because it can damage the surface and make it slippery. You just want to stop about an inch or 2 before the edge. We want to apply to the middle center of the deck, and then we can just turn it on and walk it in. Grab your bottle of lube and slowly run a bead of silicone from one side of the deck to the other, stopping about an inch or so from each edge. You want to apply about a ½ an ounce, which is equivalent to about 1 tablespoon or the size of a silver dollar. Use a flathead to remove the 2 brush caps. There will be one on each side of the motor. Remove each brush cap and be careful not to lose them. The brush is spring loaded, so it might spring out. Check out the surface of the brush and the edges. Check out for any burn marks or any damage. Now we'll look inside the motor to see inside and look at the commutator itself. Spin the motor by hand and check out each copper segment of the commutator to make sure it's clean. It should look like a clean copper penny. This is called a commutator stone, which is a mild abrasive stone that cleans and resurfaces a DC motor commutator. They're pretty brittle, so be careful when handling it. DC motors have 2 separate brushes that are mounted on opposite ends of the motor. Remove the other brush to examine it and before cleaning. Stick the stone inside the motor where the brush was and apply light pressure up against the commutator. Use your hand to spin the motor so any carbon residue sitting on the commutator will need to be cleaned off. You can rotate the motor back and forth in a scrubbing motion as needed. We will need to clean out any of the excess carbon debris and any stone particles left behind from the cleaning. Canned air can leave a big mess, so we recommend using a hose attachment from a vacuum. Set the hose right on the motor and turn on the vacuum. Spin the motor by hand to get it all out, and move the hose to the other side of the motor to clean both brush housings out. If both brushes are still in good condition, go ahead and reinstall both brushes. Since the brushes are spring-loaded, be careful when screwing the cap back on so it doesn't get cross-threaded. Use a flathead to lightly tighten it down, but don't over-tighten it and strip the head. If the commutator inside the motor is too dirty or the brushes are too short, the user might be able to see some sparks coming out of these air vents on the side of the motor here. Just look for some flashes of light, and that'll indicate a bad connection. To confirm the DC motor is working okay, the brushes are making good contact with the commutator, or to rule out the motor is causing an error 1, we can use a battery to test the motor. 10 volts roughly equals 1 mile an hour, so using a common 9 volt battery will turn the drive motor at 0.9 miles an hour. I'm going to be using my drill battery because that's all I have right now. This battery is 18 volts, so it'll turn the drive motor at 1.8 miles an hour. Unplug the motor wires from the drive board and match up minus to minus and plus to plus. If you accidentally wire it backwards, it won't blow up, it'll just turn the motor in reverse. If your motor is spinning using the battery, that tells us that the drive motor is working as long as power is being supplied to it. That means if you're getting error 1, the drive motor is likely not the issue.
On behalf of SportsArt, I want to say thank you for watching. In this video, we covered how to troubleshoot an error 1 on a SportsArt treadmill. If you have any questions, please contact us at service@gosportsart.com or visit our website at www.gosportsart.com. Thanks for watching.